Hi and welcome. Guys, this map is full of small but important tricks you need to know, so the first part of the video will be a breakdown on an empty map. As soon as we roll out from spawn, you want to pay attention to this hill right here. Behind it is where enemy helicopters spawn, and spotting one early can stop it from catching you off guard. If you're in a fast tank, your goal is to rush this hill, switch to sniper view, and be ready to engage enemies who blindly rush the cap point. This is a great spot to land the first shot in the match. Now I know a lot of you watching are either new players or just skeptical about the strats I show, so I've put together a quick clip to prove it. Check it out. Once you get to the hill, whether you got a quick kill or not, your main job is to position yourself at the right angle. Here's an example of a bad line of sight, and you can massively improve it just by shifting a bit to the left. The enemy in this area usually follows one of a few behavior patterns. Some will park at the corner of this building and try to pick off your teammates as they move toward the cap. Others just drive straight to the point with no cover at all. And the third option is if you spot an enemy moving left behind this hill. As soon as you see someone there, you need to realize they also have three possible plays. The first, and safest one for us, is they just go for the cap. The second is heading up to the hill in sector C7. And the third, which is the biggest threat, is if they try to flank around wide. So, our gameplay from this position follows a simple routine. Watch the approach to the cap and the point itself. Keep an eye on the left flank to make sure a sneaky enemy doesn't wipe out our whole team. And occasionally check the enemy hill in sector C3. Players love to camp there. And here's an important tip. Knock down this tree. It blocks your line of sight to this archway, and enemies love to push through it. If you don't spot them in time, they can seriously wreck your team. Guys, I highly recommend learning how to play from this position. It's pretty safe, and at the same time it teaches you how to watch multiple angles at once. From here, you're doing a huge job covering the left flank, and your team will definitely appreciate it. Plus, this spot helps you learn how to read the map and understand the flow of the match. For example, if a teammate is pushing the A line to flank, you don't have to worry about the left anymore and can focus more on enemies pushing the A cap. If your team is dominating the town, no need to watch the arch, chances are no one's coming through there. And if things get quiet, you can always trade shots with enemies sitting on the hill in C7. There's never a dull moment here. By the way, if you're in a slow tank, the plan is exactly the same. Just skip the early peek over the hill and play it safe from the start. Use your binoculars and scout out enemy movement before you commit. Tanks with poor gun depression can still play this position. It's not the most comfortable, but definitely doable. The one thing you'll want to skip with those vehicles is trading shots with the hill in C7. It's just not worth it. That said, if you know how to use momentum and sudden stops to force extra gun depression, you might still be able to pick off a couple targets over there. In any case, when I'm in a vehicle without good gun depression, I usually go for a different strategy. By the way, that alternate strategy also works great as a follow-up move if you get bored sitting on the hill we talked about earlier. Honestly, there's no big secret or special trick here. Just head to sector A7 and watch the tree line for enemies trying to flank as well. Once you're in A7, you'll get a clear line of sight on the hill in C7. Your job is to clear that hill and take it for yourself. It's a brutal position that gives you full control over the enemy's spawn exit. From there, it's just a matter of trading shells for RP and silver lions. And hey, if you don't feel like learning how to play the main hill position, you can always use this flank to fast-track the match, with a decent shot at snagging a few kills before it's over. Alright guys, before we move on to breaking down the other side of the map, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for watching my videos. Seriously, it means a lot. And of course, massive shout out to the legends who've become channel members. Your support is incredible and I truly appreciate it. You guys are absolute legends. Playing from the opposite side is actually much easier. Most of the time I take the hill in Sector C7, and I think we can all agree this hill is way too important to give up, so I make it my job to lock down the right flank. As soon as we get into position, the first thing we do is check along the road and scan Sector A6. You don't need to get a kill there. What matters most is gathering intel and confirming if someone's coming. If you spot an enemy at the end of that road, you've got about 20 to 30 seconds before they reach Sector A7, and you need to be ready to intercept. Your main job here is to hold the flank. Trading shots with enemies on the A point is secondary. I usually try to check the right side every 10 to 15 seconds just to make sure no one's pushing the flank. That's pretty much the core gameplay of this position. Hold the flank and keep dealing damage to the enemy. This spot works well whether your team is winning or getting steamrolled. You can hold the line here almost indefinitely and stop the enemy from cutting off access to your upper spawn. One key tip to remember, always try to play on the left side of the hill. Even if a flanker slips through, he'll only see your turret, and that gives you a small but real chance to survive a shot. Let me put it this way, about 70% of your deaths from this position will come from not checking the flank, and the rest from your own mistakes. You can stay in this position for the entire match, no need to move out at all. Of course, that kind of gameplay isn't for everyone, but in my opinion, this spot is just too strong to ignore. The only real reason to push forward is if you got lucky with your team and they're completely dominating every flank. In that case, you'll want to move up so you don't miss out on the kills. If you do decide to push forward, your objective is to take the enemy hill in Sector A5. The safest route is to flank around through A7, but sometimes I take the risk and just go straight in, saves time and skips the long detour. From that hill, you can control key exit points from the enemy spawn. Most of the time, I finish the match from that position. That said, every couple of minutes you should also check the hill directly in front of you. Sometimes you'll catch a few SPAA players hanging around there. By the way, that hill can also be used as a position, but keep in mind that if you slip up and overextend, a seasoned enemy might punish you with a one-shot from the other spawn. As you've probably figured out by now, this map is actually pretty solid, mainly because you can use mirrored strategies on both sides. After just a few matches from each spawn, you'll start recognizing every bush and every rock, and that knowledge will make you absolutely deadly no matter which side you're on, whether you're holding the line or pushing forward. Thanks for watching. That's all from me for today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.